Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how you doing? How's your mama? How's your family? I almost forgot my intro, bro. Second upload of the day. If you haven't caught the first one, we broke down Marab versus Umar Dvalishvili. I keep doing that. Marab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov for the bantamweight title. Link in the description. Link in one of them corners, wherever they be at. But now I want to talk about the main event of the evening: Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan for the lightweight championship rematch from 2019. And I'm pretty confident in my Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam pick. And I'm ready to break it down. I'm ready to break down my thought process. So tomorrow, the full card predictions will be dropping. Later on this week, the casual parlay will be dropping. I might even do a betting review before the casual parlay. Yes, the casual parlay lost. And it took a horrible loss last week. We went 0 for 3, the worst casual parlay of all time. Looking to bounce back. Heavy favorites on this card though, so it's gonna be hard to find favorable matchups. But I like some spots that I'm at, and well, I want to get back on the win column. So I said in the last video we're gonna try to upload 2 times a day this week. So we're gonna see how far in the week we can get with that. But I'm pretty confident in my pick, like I said. But the Islam, by however he wants people, and the Arman's gonna expose Islam guys. They're a bit ridiculous. We gotta stop this shit. I feel like we were looking at a close 48-47 with maybe 149-46 decision in there, or possibly a late 4th or 5th finish. But I think it's going to be relatively competitive up until that finish or up until the decision. So let's get into the fighters. Both guys are great wrestlers and grapplers. You know, Arman's the better pure wrestler, probably out in the open, using his double legs and his single legs. Islam by far is the better judo practitioner, sambo grappler. You know, better in the clinch positions where he can use the fence, he can use his trips, his throws. Islam also has the better BJJ, if you ask me, and submission offense and defense. Now, on the feet, Arman's more explosive and agile. He's probably has more power, I'm going to be honest. But I feel as Islam is more precise, the more technical kickboxer. He has very good defense. He's hard to hit. I believe Islam is the best fighter on the planet. I mean, I've been open about this. And one of the best in the world in every dynamic of mixed martial arts, whether it's the grappling, whether it's submissions, whether it's striking. You know, I feel like he's one of the best everywhere. And with that being said, Arman is a tough-ass matchup. He's a guy who will fight freely, and he won't lower his striking output like a Dustin Poirier did, because he's not going to fear the takedown. He has all the confidence in his grappling and in his wrestling, and Islam never fears takedowns. So a lot of times when two dominant grapplers face each other, it ends up being a kickboxing match. But I don't think the mindset of these two fighters will make either one of them cower away from wanting to grapple. In fact, I feel like these guys take so much pride in their grappling that I wouldn't be surprised if they had a personal goal in mind to secure a takedown. You know, Islam takes that takedown defense very, very serious, and Arman they take it very, very serious. You know, DC told Islam, Arman got you down 3 times. Islam, no, brother, one time, brother. 1 for 12. Like, he knows this. Like, he takes that very, 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 very serious. And one thing I want to address is what Islam and what a lot of his believers say is that, look at the subs Oliveira almost had Arman in. If Islam gets him in those positions, he's easily finishing them. And I would like to say, not so fast. I mean, do Bronx, when he has a sub locked in, I mean, it was locked in. You know, he's the best in the game. I mean, the only person who could have finished that Gilly or that Darce choke on Arman that Oliveira had was Jesus Christ himself. I mean, Arman was absolutely determined to not get subbed there. That was one of the tightest guillotines Charles Oliveira has ever had. Right, and he just toughed it out. And that Darce, it was a nice Darce. It wasn't as close as the guillotine, but the Darce was nice. I remember when Charles had it, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're getting the title shot again, baby. But Arman came all out his pants not to get subbed there, you know what I'm saying? And I think you have to hurt a guy like Arman on the feet or with some grounding pounds, soften him up, you know, have him a little dazed and confused to actually submit him. Kind of what Islam did to Charles du Bronx. Another thing about Arman and another thing I want to address about Arman and his believers is I gave Islam the toughest fight in his career on short notice, people. First off, it was 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. It was competitive, but Islam won 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. But not only was Arman on short notice, Islam also took the fight on short notice. And short notice for Arman was a blessing and a curse in a way, because Islam had no idea who Arman was. And think about it. Nobody wants to fight Islam. Islam couldn't even find a fight. He needs a new opponent on short notice, and the UFC pulls some 23-year-old kid off the street. He probably think he about to walk through him, brother, and collect his check, brother. But no, Arman showed some resistance. But now Islam is the most motivated he's ever been in his career. You know, he's one win away from breaking the lightweight title defense record. He's one win away from tying Anderson Silva's win streak record. He has Habib in the corner. He has the pressure of finishing the night that Tajir and Umar is going to set. It's a lot on the line. It's a lot on the line. He's one win away from shutting up the people that annoy him the most. And if you think the Charles Oliveira fans annoy him the most, it's the Arman fans. And this is from Islam's own mouth. He said he's finishing Arman in the third round, and he's shutting everyone up. So we'll see. So what does the fight look like? I think we see a composed Islam early, trying to land at range and rely on his championship experience later on in the fight, while Arman tries to start quick with pressure. I can see Islam getting his low kicks, his body kicks, and his jab established quickly, while Arman is focused on getting hands on Islam to fill him out a bit. The longer this fight goes, I think Islam begins to show experience and pull away, though. I don't think Arman can take Islam down in open space. And if Arman does get his hands locked on Islam and it's in close, I think first thing on Islam's mind is going to be get his back to the fence. Get anywhere near the fence. And anywhere near the fence, Islam is comfortable and the best in the world. There, I feel like he reverses positions to get back to space or even work his trips. I mean, thinking like Austin Bashi versus C-Rod. Austin Bashi was getting deep in on some takedowns, getting deep and like getting his hands locked. C-Rod, first thing he would do, let me get my back to the fence. And once he got there, he was fine. And now in open space, tit for tat, well, I think Islam can out kickbox just about any lightweight on the planet. Yeah, I said it. You know, I think this is going to be the first fight where people are going to finally understand what I'm saying when I say it's not just the threat. It helps, but it's not just the threat of the takedown that makes Islam such a good striker. Because Volk didn't really care about the threat of the takedown, and he outstruck Volk. One of the best strikers on the planet at that time, and still is one of the best strikers in the world, if you ask me. He outboxed Dustin Poirier. So with championship experience, multiple high-paced 4+ round fights, we're talking Alexander Volkanovski 1. We're talking Dustin Poirier. And the clear better striking in his bag, I predict Islam Makhachev to beat Arman Tsarukyan by a very competitive 49-46, maybe a 48-47, just like Umar and Merab's prediction. I think Islam's going to get it done. I think Islam is one of those athletes, I've said this over and over again, that rises to the occasion. And he wants the hardest matchup, and that's when we see the best Islam. You know, this is the first time Islam's calling somebody the number one contender, the rightful number one contender. He did not feel like Volk deserved the title shot the first 2 times. He wasn't really interested. You know, yeah, he still came out there and he did his thing, but the motivation wasn't as there as it could have been. He didn't feel like Dustin Poirier was the rightful contender, number one contender. He didn't feel like he was fighting the best of the best. The last time he felt like he was fighting the best of the best was actually Volk 2, because of the way Volk handled the first fight. You saw what happened. But okay, if you want to add an asterisk on that, the last time he fought the best in the world, in his opinion, was when he fought Charles Oliveira the first time. And Charles Oliveira is my second favorite fighter of all time. And right now, he destroyed Charles Oliveira, and it wasn't competitive. He outstruck, out-grappled, and finished Charles Oliveira. So, a fully motivated Islam, I think this is the motivated we've ever seen him in his career. I think his striking is continuing to get better, contrary to what people believe. And I feel as if we're going to see the best Islam Makhachev we've ever seen Saturday night. That's all I got for y'all, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to somebody. Don't be stingy. Help out that algorithm, man. I know they'll enjoy it just like you enjoyed it. You ain't got to go home. Just got to get up out of here, man.